My next guest, he is a jiu-jitsu ace. He is a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Please welcome on to my show my next guest here, Mr. Saul Viayra. If I mispronounce that, I'm sorry, my guy. How are you, man?
No, you're all good, man. Thank you. I'm great, man. I'm here. Just got done with training, so we're all good.
Awesome, man. Now you're an instructor?
Yes. So I teach at three schools, in Corona, Riverside, and Newport Beach, and I also compete full time as well.
And that it's in what, California, I'm assuming?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So in Riverside, California, Corona, California, and Newport Beach, California.
Because you train with Kendall Rusin, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I'm her main coach actually. So I help her out with all her fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's a savage, man.
She's absolute beast. You should see her in the training room. I think that honestly, for Kendall, like she hasn't even tapped into what her potential.
And that's the
I think
scary
that
part.
it's super scary because she just keeps getting better. And man, it's only been like a couple of years since we've really been training together, and I've been coaching her. And she's just made immense progress, so I'm excited to see her a year from now at ADCC, honestly, and she's going to absolutely kill everyone for sure.
Definitely. And shout out to her. She's been on the show as well, man. So
Yeah, perfect.
shout out to her. So you're okay. So she's a savage, right, on the ground,
Yes.
and you're her coach.
Yes. Yeah. So
You're a pretty a pretty big savage in your own right. Then
I try to be for sure. Yeah.
that's
yeah.
awesome, man.
No, yeah, but she's amazing. But yeah, I definitely try to be for sure.
Yeah. Now, so you're a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a huge accomplishment. It takes what, about 10 to 12 years, correct?
Yeah, actually, it took me 7 years to get my black belt.
It's only
Actually,
savage, man. But is
yeah,
10 years a normal time frame though?
yeah, usually about 10 to 15. I know my professor, my instructor,
Jesus.
got it in about 15 years, something like that. So it's definitely not an easy thing to get. But I mean, it's just the work you put in, that's like with anything, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, people join jujitsu and there's a bunch of different things that happen. And the one thing that I always tell, especially like my students, is like, it doesn't matter about the time frame. You can't compare yourself to anyone else. It's all about just, your own journey. And that's the special thing about jiu-jitsu for sure. But yeah, it took me about 7 years to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu for sure.
How does one do that though, Saul? I mean, it's a huge, I mean, that seems pretty fast. I mean, what did you do differently?
Honestly, man, like one of the biggest things that I did I knew immediately that I wanted to do jiu-jitsu full time. Like the moment I stepped foot on the mats, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to accomplish it. I don't know what are the necessary steps to accomplish it. But I know that for a fact that I'm going to be doing this full time for the rest of my life, And so, whereas a lot of people train kind of either sporadically or maybe 2 times a week or 3 times a week, you have some of the hardcore people that train maybe 4 times a week. For me, I train 2 times a day, every single day, for 7 years, really. So, and even when I'm not on the mats training, I'm studying, and so I pretty much given my whole life to jiu-jitsu, So, so with that being said, I mean, you kind of see how I got a little bit quicker than maybe some other people did.
Yeah. Well, so you started at what age then? If you don't mind me asking.
So I was 17. I was just turned 17 when I started jiu-jitsu.
Okay. So then, and you progress, I'm assuming same thing, Gracie Baja.
Yeah. So I started at the school that I'm currently teaching at one of the schools that I'm currently teaching at. I was actually a student there.
Okay.
And then I kind of took over as the instructor there after a while.
Okay. So like this is something I like to do. So we're here talking on the show, man. I know I'm asking all these questions here, but see, a lot of the listeners that we have here, man, find all this stuff, intriguing. Like when I bring in fighters and stuff, and they talk about, some people may not know the life of what a fighter is. They only see the weigh in, they see the fight, and that's it, right? Boom.
Yeah.
And so they don't see the hard work that gets put into this. So this is very unique. So now you say you compete though in jiu-jitsu, correct?
Yes.
Now,
yeah, I'm a full-time competitor.
What kinds of competitions, or what is the life of somebody that trains full-time, eat, breathe, sleeps jiu-jitsu like yourself, man?
Man, honestly, like I have a lot of people that come up to me, who first sign up and say, hey, I want to do this full time. I want to be a world champion.
Okay.
And it sounds very nice to say that, right? It's like, oh yeah, I want to be a world champion. Of course, no one wants to do something just to be be average at it, right?
Of course.
But then the amount of work that's put into it is absolutely insane. So just to kind of put you through something that I go weekly is I pretty much train two jiu-jitsu sessions a day.
Okay.
And I do that. So I do that in the morning, and then I'll train at night as well. In between, I'll also study a lot. So I do a lot of watching film, watching my matches, watching my opponent's matches, watching new techniques that are coming out. So I'm constantly learning and training as well, in that. But one thing it's grueling,
Yeah.
it's absolutely grueling,
Oh, I'm sure,
and
man.
it sounds, like I said, it sounds nice. It sounds like, oh man, like I definitely want to be a world champion one day. But I mean, doing doing 2 a days really, plus strength and conditioning, 3 times a week, it builds up and it breaks you down, and it really, really, it sucks sometimes, it's like, wait, why am I doing this again?
Dude, it's
Kind
a
of a
whole
thing.
different animal, man. I remember when I tried it first, I was, back in the day, I used to be, I had shorter hair and, I was a lot thinner. I was like about 30 pounds thinner. And I thought I was in good shape. And then I walked into a jujitsu session and I felt like I have never worked out a day in my life. My back was blown, man. I could not, I was rubbing icy hot all over my back, man. It was just something gnarly. I think that's the best way to explain this, man. And I think that for anybody that's an athlete, it doesn't matter how good you are, right? As an athlete, whether you're a phenomenal basketball player, whether you're a phenomenal, football player, phenomenal track runner. I mean, you go in there to a jiu-jitsu session and everyone feels like a beginner. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I have guys who wrestled before. I've had NFL players come in. And like it's so funny watching guys who are super, super athletic. And I'll put them with one of like my purple belts who are, thin and frail, no muscle on their bones, and
Yeah.
they just absolutely tear them apart, which is like the funniest thing to watch sometimes.
Say who's walked into your school, NFL player wise.
um, I forgot I don't watch any football.
Oh
so,
no, it's
so
a
I
pretty big
forgot the
thing
general.
here.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. I'm terrible with like commercial sports, really, like
Yeah.
football. I used to watch hockey. I used to be really into hockey, but not so much anymore. I once the LA Kings started losing a lot, I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm good on it.
I definitely feel, well, luckily for you, man, we talk about combat sports here. We kind of go around with everything here at Critical Condition, man. So now we don't, real quick before we even shift to the next topic that I want to talk about is, so can you tell somebody like the audience that isn't, aware of the jiu-jitsu world, what is there a specific event that is like the Super Bowl? Like, we know what the Super Bowl is for the NFL, but what is that to jiu-jitsu?
Definitely, it's called ADCC.
Okay.
Um, ADCC is like the top tournament in jiu-jitsu, and it's something that you have to qualify for.
Okay.
So normally in jiu-jitsu, like the world championships, the Pan Americans, like all that stuff's really, they're really big tournaments and they're prestigious. But all those tournaments you don't have to necessarily qualify for,
Okay.
right? And for ADCC, it's pretty much like our Olympics, really.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so there's 8 trials, and in those 8 trials, only one person, the person who wins the whole division, it gets invited to ADCC. And in ADCC, there's 77, 88. There's only 5 divisions, right?
Okay.
So there's only, whereas other tournaments, there's multiple divisions, like 13 or something like that, right? But in ADCC, there's only 5 divisions that people compete at. So out of those 5 divisions, only 8 people can qualify for it, and then 8 people are invited, right? So you have to be like the top of the best, to kind of
Yeah.
be even invited for it, right? So the majority of people will just try to qualify for it. And so those trials, they actually just happened in New Jersey, and they're going to have another one in the West Coast here in Orange County.
You got to win one,
Um,
right? To to be able to
Yeah.
get in there?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you have to win one to be able
Easier
to
said than done.
even, yeah, for sure. Because literally like the top of the top guys, like the divisions are so stacked. I think in my division alone, this in New Jersey, there was about 200 competitors. So it was absolutely insane, you know. So there was a lot of fights that are happening, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably the biggest tournament, and it's every 2 years. So very similar to like the Olympics, right? Where things happen every 4 years. ADCC only happens every 2 years. So the World Championships for ADCC happen, and they're going to be in Vegas this year, or next year,
Mm.
sorry. Yeah, so it's going to be a huge event. I know the guy's running it. His name's Mo Jassim, and he's just absolutely going all out with it. So it's going to be a great event.
Will you be out there?
I'm definitely trying to qualify. So that's the goal for next year, is to qualify in Orange County at the
Okay.
Orange County trials, and be able to go out there and compete for sure.
No, I'm assuming so. Again, your student, you know, in Kendall, she's obviously aiming for that as well, correct?
Yeah, so for her, she actually won the so they had a trial for her in New Jersey.
Okay.
The problem with that is that the women divisions are a little bit smaller. So instead of having 8 trials like the men's, they have 4,
Oh,
which is
okay.
honest. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. But the cool thing was that the guy running the East Coast trials just put on a women's tournament while the men's tournament was going on. So she went out there and she fought, and she ended up winning the whole. She just absolutely demolished everyone.
Jesus.
So yeah,
That's
so she did
competition.
amazing.
It's competition for you,
Yeah.
man. Well, let me shift to this, man. I know, right? You do a lot of jiu-jitsu every single day. You're drilling that twice, 3 times, 4 times a day. Jiu-jitsu nut here, but it's
Yeah,
all
for
good
sure.
here. But so let me shift to this, right? Let's take a little break here. We're talking about you're a huge fan. I wanted you to come in here. I want to have a normal conversation. Not that I don't have any normal conversations with my guests, anyone here and there. Love you all. But no one here really watches TV or gets to enjoy a movie or anything like that. I usually have a lot of athletes come on here, and they're all busy, trying to be the best in the world, or
For
accomplishing their
sure.
dreams here. Well, let's take a chill here, and let's talk about something that happened. Was it a week ago? Forgive me if I don't have the time frame right on here. But Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Huge trailer, hugely anticipated trailer, right? It finally dropped. Internet was going nuts here. I wanted to talk about this here with you, man, because we got a crap load of news that happened over the last couple of weeks, whether it was Disney Plus talking about Star Wars or Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, people, I do have a life outside of this show. We're here to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Man, what were your initial thoughts here?
Man, when I watched that I literally was just like in awe. Like
Yeah.
So Spider-Man for me is something super super close to my heart. I've loved Spider-Man since I was a little kid. I've
Yeah.
read pretty much all the comics, and I'm just a huge Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I've always loved, especially with like the movies and stuff, was just the accuracy of the Tom Holland Spider-Man. I absolutely love him as Spider-Man. And so I was really excited for him to get his first movie when Homecoming came out. And obviously Far From Home was amazing. And
Yes.
so like this No Way Home trailer, this is the most anticipated trailer that I've definitely been looking for, been looking forward to. And obviously the movie that I've been looking forward to the most. But man, the trailer just absolutely blew me away. It
Yeah.
was just like, I've watched it like so many times now, like 15 times. um
Yeah.
and every time I always find like a little nugget in there that's just like, wow. So one thing that I absolutely love about this trailer is that it didn't give too much away,
Yeah, it
but
didn't.
also kind of giving us some of the cool stuff, like obviously showing the I guess Sinister Five, really, but showing us all the bad guys,
There's a
right?
lot of
Showing
rumors though, man, that there's a sixth person there, man. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors that there's a sixth person. And here's the thing about movies though. Like for this one, man, I'm trying my best not to have high expectations, man, because dude, people are. I mean, agree with me or disagree with me, man. Aren't people hyping this movie up so much? They're wanting so many damn things to happen in this movie, dude. And look, before we even dive deeper, I haven't watched Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Okay, Like
Okay.
people
All
are
right.
talking about. So yeah, well, I'll watch that this Thanksgiving holiday. I promise. But a lot of people were telling me that, oh, the ending scene, the post credit scene is gonna connect to this one, and I don't know what. I don't want to hear none of that, man. But people are hyping up. Obviously, let's be honest. Let's get right to this. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I think that's like the biggest thing, right? That everyone's hyping up, right? When are they
Yes.
coming? When
Yes.
are they coming? Andrew Garfield, poor man, dude, poor man. He cannot walk into and do any kind of interview without being questioned. This man. Do you have your hopes up, or like, are you expecting this to happen, man? What's your view on this thing, man? Because I generally try not to get myself too pumped, man.
So here's the biggest thing, and this is what happened with me with Star Wars,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Is I go into a movie with such high
Oh
expectations
my God.
and thinking about all the possibilities that can
Same.
happen and going deep into theories and stuff like that, that obviously when you go and watch the movie, this happened to me when I went to go watch Last Jedi, episode 8 of Star Wars. And I was like pumping it up. I loved it. I was like, oh, like it's gonna be amazing. And then like I left
Popcorn
the
and
movie.
shit. You're
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah, yeah. And I left the movie theater just like I was confused, you know, like I
Okay.
was like, wait, what happened? And so ever since that, I've always been like, okay, I'm not going
Dude, I'm
to
telling you, don't do that, because then people are gonna get so pissed. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what's up? Where's Andrew, for crying out loud? You know?
Yes, yes. And
Oh,
of course, you have all the rumors and the speculation and
the
even the
leaks.
photos.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
dude.
leaks, the photos. So for me, I'm just happy if Tom Holland is in there and his, his Spider-Man, oh, it shines, you know.
Same
Of
here.
course, do I
Same here.
want Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to show up? Of course, to have a whole Spider-Verse, like that's one of the best storylines in the comics, is to have Spider-Verse. And of course, like when they came out with the Into the Spider-Verse movie, that movie was just really
Dude,
good as
that movie
well.
was so good.
Yes, yes. It
Oh
was
my.
honestly like it's probably one of the best Spider-Man movies ever, you
No,
know.
100%.
Um yes, yes. And so I do have a lot of high expectations for this movie, and I'm
Don't do it to
really
yourself,
trying hard
Saul.
not to. Yeah.
Dude, don't do it to yourself. And the biggest thing is, I'm with you where, okay, cool. I mean, if it happens, it happens, right? That's what I'm telling myself. Cool. If they show up, it happens. It feels though like this is like, if you're gonna pull the trigger, right? And obviously, like studios and writers and
Hmm.
directors, obviously, when the obvious thing, when the obvious option to make for great television or great movies there, they just throw it away. If anyone wants to ask
Hmm.
me what I mean, just ask the showrunner for The Flash, man, who's just taking that show down to shit right now, man. And and we can say whatever we want. That's why I'm cussing. I rarely cuss on these things, man. But God, man, do they really hurt television or just movies in general, man? Where again, you don't do what the fans want. And sometimes I understand what the fans want isn't good storytelling or whatnot, and you may get fired for that, man. But so it seems like this is the prime time to do this, right? Where else are you going to? Multiverse of Madness is coming here. You're teasing the multiverse. You're teasing so many villains. You're bringing villains that we have not seen since 2002 back on the freaking movie screen, man. And it's
Yes.
crazy to think like this is the opportunity. Am I wrong? This
No,
is
you're
it.
definitely not. Yeah, no, you're definitely not. And I think that to have Toby and to have Andrew Garfield in it is just going to be like, man. And obviously, there's the rumor of Charlie Cox being in it as
Yeah,
Daredevil.
that's not gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. No way. If that happened, holy shit, no way. I don't think so. You think so? What do you think?
I I mean, man, anything could happen. Like Charlie Cox is being very coy about it. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've heard any interviews with him, but
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Jeez, I
And
don't know. It's intriguing, dude.
I
Oh, I
mean,
couldn't hurt.
it would fit perfectly with the whole storyline of
Yeah.
Peter kind of going to court and stuff like that for being Spider-Man. I mean, why not? Like,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, is that if it doesn't happen, I think a lot of people are going
Dude,
to
they're
be
gonna shit
upset.
on this movie. I guarantee you. That's a thing where I'm just like, I really wish like the hype doesn't annoy me. The Spider-Man leaks and so many people trying to Photoshop things or people, whether they're real
Yeah.
or not, I don't know, right? But like, can you just let the damn movie just like happen, man? Like the anticipation just feels a lot worse, man, because of that. Because
Yes.
people are just doing that. I'm just like, dude, I'm hyped for this movie. like we should be, right? Like we're hyped, tickets go on sale Monday. I
Yeah.
don't do movies a lot, man, but this is one of those movies where be by my phone and freaking buy some tickets, man, to go there, man.
Me too.
Because
Hell
I
yeah.
just want to avoid spoilers, man.
Yeah. No, me too.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, that Friday or Thursday where it drops, dude, stay off social media until you watch it, man. It's one of those things, man. And I could see though the theaters lighting up if it's Garfield and Maguire and Holland. I can compare that to possibly when Endgame, that
Hmm.
big fight scene. Oh man, the theaters would go nuts if that were to happen.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
I did see an Easter egg. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently it's the lizard. When they're gonna have like this big like fight
Yeah.
piece, and the lizard's flying, and it looks like someone's punching them. You
Yes.
saw that, and you know what? What I was gonna say though is I didn't need to necessarily see that, but the effect of like if you hold it still, man, like the lizard's attacking, like Tom Holland's here, and the lizard's attacking somewhere here, like with a like is his aim that bad? It's intriguing
Yeah.
there. I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, man, but that is intriguing there. I don't know if you spotted that.
Yeah, I did, and that's honestly what kind of really got my hopes up with
Yes,
both
I'm
Andrew
guilty.
and and Toby coming in. I was like, oh, that they just took him out of the trailer. Like, I mean, Marvel is like super. They do that a lot, right? And
Yeah, they
they
changed shit
try to,
out on there.
yeah, they may try to misguide you. I think Star Wars does the same thing a lot of the times too, but I've seen it a lot with a lot of the Marvel movies and a lot of their trailers and stuff like that. The one thing that's scaring me though is that I think Kevin Feige was saying how he was like, oh, I really wish fans wouldn't get their hopes up too much, because so I was
Dude,
like,
I'm telling you, that's why, man. Like, that's why, like, or who knows, man? I don't know. It's be some random hero that they just blocked off there, dude. Like, I don't know, man. No, I can't think of anyone right now, but that's a thing. Like, oh god damn it, man. I'm scared, but I'm excited. Again,
yeah,
dude, because people are gonna shit on this movie. It could be phenomenal. Like I thought, was it that so this is No Way Home, Far From Home was phenomenal.
yeah, I
I
thought
thought
that was great too.
Jake Gyllenhaal, a lot of people hate on Jake Gyllenhaal. They're saying that, oh, he's not a good actor, but I thought he did an awesome job with
I
it. I
thought he
think
was
this,
a
yeah,
yeah,
you thought so too?
I thought he was an amazing Mysterio,
Dude, yeah, he played it good.
and even like I know from the comics that Mysterio is a bad guy,
Yeah.
but like that first half of the movie when I was watching, I was like, wait, are they changing stuff up right now?
Yeah.
Like, is Mysterio a good guy? But of course, they like fooled me, and that's the nice thing about both Spider-Man movies is that their twist is just like, oh, like Vulture being
The father.
Liz's dad.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh
I was like,
shit.
wait, whoa, shoot. Like I like visibly just gasped when in the theater when that happened.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
I
can
think
hear it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that John Watts does a really good job at directing Spider-Man. So I'm excited for it, man. And honestly, like everything that was shown in the trailer obviously is confirmed. So that's enough for me for it to be a good movie.
Yeah, like all the Sinister Six or Five, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else, I mean, if Toby and Andrew are in it, if Daredevil's in it, or whoever else they're expecting to be in it, if those guys are in it, cool, awesome. That's just kind of like icing on the cake.
Same.
But I mean, having Green Goblin in there,
William
having
Defoe. I'm
Doc
excited
Ock,
to have him there.
yes, yes. I mean, William
20,
Defoe, I think,
2002.
yeah, by far the best Green Goblin, and honestly, the best Spider-Man villain, period.
Is that your
He's
favorite
just
one?
so good. Definitely.
Favorite villain
Yeah. My favorite villain from the Spider-Man
from
movies.
the movies? Yes, let's do the movies.
I think definitely the William Defoe one. Yeah, the Green Goblin, William Defoe.
It's
Man.
hard to top that one, even though Spider-Man 2 was great, right? With
Uh-huh.
Dr. Octopus. I like William Defoe, man. I just like the lines and stuff like that. Just the dialogue at the end, especially like
Hmm.
in that final fight scene, man. I felt like he was the perfect foe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He was the perfect Green Goblin. Played that edge between the cool dad and also like the just creepy villain dude that Green Goblin is.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Norman Osborn is. So that was definitely I think that was perfect casting.
Oh, absolutely. Now, who's let's see. So there's a huge library here, right? Who's a villain that you want to see in the movies? Because I'll start off and I'll say, and we're gonna get it. I want to see Craven. I wanted to see
Hmm.
the Last Hunt storyline happen. That's one. Is there one particular that you've been wanting to see that you haven't gotten yet?
As far as villains,
I'm a villain kind of guy, man. I like the bad
yeah,
guys.
man, you know what? I think that Craven story is probably by far the best one
Dude,
for
it's gonna
sure.
be
Yeah.
gold. Eh,
Yeah. I mean, they have to have him.
No, absolutely. And they're making a solo film.
They are. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, cool. So then I'm assuming you don't know who got casted for that.
No, I don't.
Okay, cool. Marvel guy, right? You watched all the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's already in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, man, and it's gonna be the guy that played Quicksilver.
Oh, Aaron Johnson.
Yeah, Aaron
Aaron
Tyler
Johnson.
Johnson or
Wow.
something like that.
Yeah,
He came out in the Kick-Ass
Aaron.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, really?
Yep, he's gonna be Craven.
Huh. Wow, that's it. I can actually see that's a good casting. Actually, he's
Yeah,
he's a great actor. He's a great actor.
him, and then I mean, you saw who they casted as Star Lord, right? Is it Star Lord?
Uh,
No, Will
Staros.
Poulter in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Was it Will Poulter? I forgot who's the
Adam.
character.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. There we go. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at that. So Adam Warlock though has already been casted. Who's a random one? I remember seeing a random one. Can't think of it, but I know. Yeah. So Craven got casted on there. So I'm excited. So they're making the standalone movie for him.
Yeah, I think Sony's just going on. I hope Sony doesn't mess up the whole Spider-Verse
Yeah.
thing. Because honestly, for me, the Venom movies weren't that great.
No. Was the post credit scene awesome?
The post credit scene made that movie. Like it
No
really
way.
made
That's what
that
that's
movie.
what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
God, man. Was it Woody Harrelson's acting or?
No, I absolutely love Woody Harrelson. I've always like you asked me what villain I would want to see.
Yeah.
Before that movie, it was definitely Carnage. Like Carnage, it was my absolute favorite villain growing up. And so I saw when watching the movie, I think Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job playing Carnage, you know. I think the story was just dull, you
I
know,
mean,
like
what
that
is it,
was
like an hour and a half though, right?
yeah, it just feels really rushed.
Yep.
But it doesn't really feel like um yeah, it just feels like a really rushed movie, you know. And it just feels like they were just trying to get to the end of it.
Yeah,
But like the whole
man.
time I was watching, I was like, okay. And I think they were just trying to get to that end credit scene, you know.
Was
So
it worth the wait?
saying
Was it worth the
yes,
wait? Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll keep it.
definitely.
I'm
It's
gonna
it
watch it on Thursday. I'm watching it on Thanksgiving.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's definitely going to
Make up the
affect
affect the Spider Verse or whatever.
yeah, it's definitely going
Okay.
to affect the No Way Home movie. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what I was hearing. The post credit scene is gonna connect. So all right, we'll stop the Venom talk there. Now you're let's see. So Spider-Man No Way Home's coming out December 17th. Make sure you get tickets, right? Like I need to plug that here for people, but it's gonna be a freaking phenomenal movie, man. Who's your favorite Spider-Man? I want to go ahead from what I'm vibing here with you. Tom Holland, man.
I love the accuracy of Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I think that him as Spider-Man is perfect. As someone who grew up watching the original Spider-Man, I have a nostalgia for Tobey Maguire.
I love
And
Tobey Maguire.
when I talk to people my age, they're like, "Oh yeah, Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man." But I kind of take myself out of the nostalgia and just kind of taking myself out of the nostalgia. I think Tom Holland for sure. I think he plays Spider-Man just perfectly.
I
Um,
think I agree with you. So I think the movies are a lot stronger.
mhm.
The first and the second one, I think they're done like great. I think with Spider-Man, I think the crap the Maguire saga gets is because of how bad people complained about the third movie. I personally
Yeah,
didn't mind it, man. I thought it was fine. I thought that it was stronger than the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I
I
thought it
think
was
so too.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's very fair. I think the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is very sloppy.
Hmm.
It's very, very sloppy. I thought at least there was a sense of direction with the third Sam Raimi movie. Thought it was interesting. I mean, who didn't want to watch Venom? Live action,
Yes.
right? So to me, that was good enough. It's very intriguing for me. I think that again, the No Way Home series has been better, but dude, Spider-Man 2 for me is always going to be possibly the best one, man. I don't know.
It,
That's
it's
just me.
it's
The train
definitely
scene.
Yes, yes. Even like having Doc Ock with all his with the tentacles and
Tentacles.
stuff like that. I mean, I think Alfred Molina did such an amazing job playing him. That's why I'm so happy he's back.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm super nervous about is that is them trying to do too much in No Way Home,
Yeah.
like they did with Spider-Man 3. Like I think that's why Spider-Man 3 isn't that great of a movie, because they had like three villains in there, and
The
it just
Green
felt too
Goblin.
convoluted. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
just too much, you know? And obviously with something like the Sinister Five or Six, I mean, hopefully Scorpion's in it. Maybe he'll be the sixth one.
Yeah.
They'll they'll do something about, the time and stuff like that, because I don't know if you've seen Eternals, but
No, not
that's
yet.
it's the biggest thing with Eternals. It's like
Mhm.
there's 10 characters and it's just so little screen time, you know? So
It didn't intrigue me, man, to be honest with you.
yeah, no, I feel it. I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about the Eternals.
me neither.
Yeah, but I thought for me, I thought it was a great movie. I won't spoil it, of course, but
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie, but it was definitely not the best one. It was
Nah.
like,
Was it one of the weak? Do
nah,
you feel like it was one of the weakest ones that Marvel has produced?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Because week one, and you think they're like a factory, right? They know how to bang these movies out, right?
Yeah.
So I thought the first two Thors were weak.
Hmm.
I think that's fair. I think wasn't a huge fan of the first Hulk. They
No,
recasted the
yeah,
guy, so it felt like a waste of time there.
yeah.
Um, People shit on what is it, Iron Man 2 or 3?
Three. People don't like Iron Man 3.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
mind it.
okay. It's
To
an
each his
okay
own.
movie.
Do to each
Yeah.
his own. But this Eternals one, I mean, again, the Iron Man, right? You're gonna pay money to go watch Iron Man, right? I did
Yeah.
not hear. I don't know who the hell the Eternals were. I think like the hardcores are, but
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know. What was your thought on Black Widow?
So the thing with Black Widow, I think it's a great movie. I think it's a good movie for sure.
Okay,
I
solid.
think it's entertaining. Yeah, I think it's entertaining. But I think that it came out just way too late. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree with you. It feels
like
pointless after she died.
yeah, I was like, okay, like this is cool, but it's like this doesn't really, like, the one thing that it did do was propel her sister Yelena, to be in the future
Yeah,
of the MCU. But other than that, like I felt like it was almost kind of like a waste.
pointless.
Yeah, it was kind of a pointless movie. It was kind of cool to see some of her background and stuff like
But
that.
and they delayed it
Um,
so much, man.
and that was a big thing too. Like
They
it's like I
delayed
was
it
waiting for
so
this.
much, dude. Yeah, and like, look, man. Let's be quite honest here, man. Disney has more money than both of us put together.
For sure.
Probably never gonna see that much money. Or I hope,
For
right?
sure.
I hope, but I mean, they could burn $1 million, and it's like freaking burning a napkin.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think like you should. So like HBO Max and D, because you're a big DC guy, right?
Mainly just Marvel, honestly, but
Maybe
yeah.
okay, but have you watched? Do you pay attention like I'm not huge like balls deep into all these like Aquaman movies or anything like that, but Wonder Woman was the biggest one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've seen those, yeah.
yeah. So they didn't hold off. They said, "Here's a fat check to the director and the actress Gal Gadot. Here's a fat check. We're not going to release it in movies. We'll release it both simultaneously, but here's a fat check so you can make up for all your money. And we're just going to do this. We're not going to screw around with delaying it." And they did it the
Yeah.
right way. It was good enough money for there not to be any controversy.
Yeah.
And Marvel or Disney didn't go that route. What's $10 million realistically to the company, right? Why can't you say, here you go, here's a fat check, all we're gonna do is put it here? And it's not like, look, so it's not like they're giving this movie for free like with HBO Max, right? I mean, people are
Yeah,
still having
exactly.
to pay $30 damn to watch the movie. I didn't pay for that shit, dude. I waited till it came on there. It's
Me
ridiculous,
too.
dude. Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, exactly, right? It's like they should have. I mean, it's not like you're just giving it away. You should have just given a check, done that, and that's it, because it ruined the anticipation. Because there was a point where I was like, oh, cool, I want to watch that. And then
Yeah, exactly.
now it's just like, okay, cool. Well, it waited so long. I mean, I know she's dead.
Yeah.
So there's no real, what's the word? There's no real suspense to, okay, she's gonna die. Well, no shit, right? Like, spoiler alert, she's gonna die, she dies.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, then I guess you're putting all these characters. And the one thing I don't like is it's Black Widow, right? It's the main character. And I was able to, I got a sneak peek at the Hawkeye series,
Oh, really?
and first two episodes. And so the thing is, and like we know, like you know who Haley Steinfeld is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, big actors, right? That's a big get. It's a big get. I don't like the actors that they're trying to build up that are gonna overshine. So I felt like Yelena was gonna overshine Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow in what is pretty much her final movie, right?
yeah,
And she's outshining them. And so the biggest issue I have with like the Hawkeye, it's nice, calm, nothing too crazy within the first two episodes, at least in my opinion, where it's very easy for Haley Steinfeld to outshine homeboy Jeremy Renner.
yeah,
They outshine. I mean, because that's the thing with Black Widow, right? The biggest thing is that the supporting character was the one that was outshining in the movie, right? And that's the thing. I don't know. It's kind of like I want to see more Black Widow, or I want to see more damn Hawkeye, Like
yeah,
that's what the
yeah,
series is, right? So that's just kind of my biggest thing on there. So again, you make the weight. It's not truthfully all about Black Widow. Like you said, there's a couple nuggets there. Just don't like how they
yeah.
handled it, man. That's me. But let me shift to this, man. Kenobi series coming out, man. I'm assuming you are pumped for that.
Dude, I think that is definitely the most anticipated show that I'm looking forward to next year. Like Kenobi, man, is absolutely gonna be insane, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Ewan McGregor coming back, and of course having Hayden Christensen coming back as
They were
Darth
gonna be
Vader.
here in my hometown. So there was a celebrity fan fest, and this was in the summer. They're
Oh,
both
really?
here. They were both gonna come here, and I was like, dude, gotta go, get an autograph, right? But they canceled it, man, because of damn COVID,
uh,
man.
that's a bummer.
They canceled it in field because of I think it was, what is it, the Delta variant. So
Oh, like that's about the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's about the time, dude. So they canceled it. I was like, son of a gun. But I'm very pumped for that one, right? I'm not like huge into Star Wars. Like I'm not, hardcore like nut for the movies.
Yeah.
I watch them. I didn't mind the episodes 1, 2, and 3. Those are the ones that I feel like get shit on a lot. Correct?
Yeah, the prequels
Yeah.
definitely.
I heard the one was the one that got shit on a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So the thing with the prequels is that me growing up, I
Mhm.
love those movies,
Okay.
because I was a kid when these movies were coming out,
Same.
and so like I have a deep appreciation for those movies. But when I talk to people like because I have some friends that who are absolute Star Wars nuts who are like in their 40s and 50s, you
Yeah.
know, that who watch the original trilogy in theater kind of people.
God
And
damn.
those guys are like, nope, like these movies suck. But there's like a nostalgia to it that I really enjoy. And of course, having I think Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel trilogy was just absolutely amazing. Even honestly, for me, I love Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. I thought that he was a great Anakin Skywalker. A lot of people shit on his performance,
I
but
don't
the
think he was
amount of
too
people,
bad. I thought he was
yeah,
solid.
I mean, I think that the main problem with the prequel trilogy was the writing. The dialogue is just absolute. Like George Lucas does not know how to write dialogue, and that's just how it
Yeah.
is.
I felt like it was
Um,
all over the place. Is that a
yeah, yeah.
fair statement?
No, it definitely is, and the reason why the original trilogy has so much impact on people and why a lot of people like those movies was because he got writers to help him out with the scripts, you
Okay.
know. And in the prequels, he didn't. He just wrote everything himself, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so and I'm sure he had a bunch of yes men around him, because he was at that point he's George freaking Lucas, like what are you gonna tell him? Like no.
Yeah.
That's the
He
problem with a
wasn't
lot of
huge,
people.
right? Back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So he had people like Steven Spielberg and Francis Coppola to help him out with the scripts, and Lawrence Kasdan, of course. But when it comes to the prequels, like he didn't have any help. Like I'm sure he was just surrounded by a bunch of yes men people that were like, "Oh yeah, this is fantastic,"
Sign the check. Sign the check for me,
Yeah,
boss.
exactly. So I think that's what kind of screwed him a little bit was that the dialogue was just absolutely terrible. And it's like, and he's not a director's or actors director. He doesn't know how to direct actors very well.
Okay.
Which is the main problem with George Lucas, which is why he directed the first movie, the episodes 4, but then 5 and 6 he got other people to direct for him, you know.
Okay.
And so that, I mean, that's why episode 5 is considered to be one of the best Star Wars movies, is because he wrote the story, but he didn't direct it. And well, he helped like directing it, but it was another director that mainly did it, and of course and a different writer, you know.
That George Lucas gets a lot of credit, man. Jesus.
Well, I mean,
I
to
didn't
be
know
fair, he comes up with the story, he came up with the characters,
Okay.
and all that, you know. So of course he should get all the credit in the world, but
Okay.
I mean, he had people help him write it and stuff like that, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it by yourself. Look at
no,
LeBron in
for
the NBA,
sure.
man. Can't do it by himself. So
No, exactly. I mean, there's plenty of people that do that, you know. It's a very common thing amongst directors and stuff like that. But yeah, it's and it's so yeah, so the prequels, that's why they get a lot of flack, honestly.
they do.
But
It's crazy. Look, so let me ask you this. So when you were watching them, right? Kid growing up in the movies. Now, I'll tell you with me, right? No hate on the spoilers, right? But so my cousin was the one that got me into it, started watching the movies. But she pretty much just like spilled the whole beans. Oh, this is this. Like Darth Vader's the
yeah,
bad guy. Spoiler alert, God, if you have not watched Star Wars, for crying out loud, folks, go watch it. But you know, Anakin Skywalker, he is the bad guy, because I think we saw Darth Vader, and then my cousin's like, oh, you see that little kid? Yeah, okay, well, he's actually this guy, and I'm like, wait, what? So it's like, because obviously it was 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I understood the story, right? No hate on that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, my cousin just explained the story to me, and I feel like growing up, there was a lot of kids that were like that, where, oh yeah, this guy's supposed to be this. Yeah, you know, all the kids knew, right? I always tell my friend this, man. Imagine if you were in the damn movie theater, where was it episode 5, where that was that massive reveal,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
happening
yeah,
for the first time. Imagine like not knowing anything, and you're just watching that shit as it aired. Imagine the feeling you'd have, like
yeah,
just hearing the with everyone, because I mean, that's what I saw, a documentary on how, you know, everything played out from 4, 5, and 6, and people's
yeah.
reaction was like going ballistic. Imagine that, man. Did you find that out by yourself, or did you already kind of know the story as you were watching these movies and becoming a fan of them?
So I honestly started watching them, like my dad bought
Okay.
the original trilogy when I was like 3 years old, you know.
Okay, so you had
uh
no idea. No one spoiled this shit for you.
no,
Okay, that's good.
no, I was my dad was like, hey, I watched these when I was your age, let's put them on, let's watch it. And I was like, let's do it, you know. Because we used to watch a lot of movies together. But yeah, like that. And honestly, I was like hooked. I was absolutely hooked. But obviously, like as a 3-year-old, I didn't really care about the story. I just cared that there was flashing lights
Yeah,
and
there's bad guys
lightsabers and
fighting. Yeah, the lightsaber.
yeah. Yeah, like that's all I really cared about as a kid. But obviously, as I grew older, I started having it. I like, honestly, episode 5 was probably the one I didn't like the most when I was growing up, because I thought it was the most boring one,
Yeah,
because there was not a lot of fight scenes and stuff like that, you know. But man, as an adult now watching it, I'm like, oh man, this movie is like gold. Like there's
yeah.
so much to this movie, you know. Like there's so many sayings, so many
I'm your
like things that,
father.
yeah, exactly, right. And there's like great reveals like that. And that's honestly for me why I try to avoid spoilers as much as possible on any
Yeah.
movie. Like that's why I'm gonna go watch this No Way Home movie like right when it comes out,
Dude,
you
the
know.
internet's gonna be a freaking, what is it, a landmine or whatever, a freaking out
Exactly,
there.
exactly. Well, that's
It's insane.
honestly like one thing with like rumor culture and spoiler culture is like it's or scoop culture, I think they call it. It's just bananas, you know. Like it's absolutely crazy how people try to ruin this shit for you, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Dude,
one the
Endgame
one
was
thing
the
with,
worst, brother.
yes,
Endgame
yes,
was the
yes,
worst.
yes, because I didn't watch it until like I didn't watch Endgame until like a week after it came out already,
Yeah.
you know. And man, I got that movie so spoiled. Like everything was spoiled for me, you know. So I was kind of bummed going into that movie and watching it, you know. um
God, they spoiled everything. They just spoiled Captain America lifting the damn hammer.
yeah,
Bro, those people need to go to hell, dude. For that. Come on.
yeah, no, it was like all over. It was all over at the time. I don't have Facebook anymore, but it was all over Facebook. I couldn't even get on
Is
social
that why you don't
media
have
without
Facebook anymore?
definitely. I try to avoid all that
Dude,
stuff, man. Like, there's no way.
there's a guy, and you know, it's funny. He probably doesn't even know who he is if he's hearing this, but I got was it Avengers Endgame spoiled, dude? I was so pissed, so I blocked him, bro, and I still haven't blocked on my phone. Like I haven't blocked from Facebook and everything on my phone, dude. I was so pissed, man.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like, man, don't ruin the movie. Like the anticipation, the awe of
10
it.
years, dude.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so one thing that honestly, for I don't know if you've watched The Mandalorian at all.
I have not watched The Mandalorian. You know, okay, so I'll tell you why. Because they spoiled the damn ending in season 2.
Okay, well, there it is.
Yeah, because they spoiled the damn ending in season 2. I asked the guy at work. I was working at the restaurant, and I was like, "Hey, man, is The Mandalorian a good show? Do you recommend it?" Oh yeah, dude. At the end, freaking Luke Skywalker. Spoiler alert, right? Luke Skywalker. I was like, well, shit, man. I guess I'm not watching it anymore. What the like, dude? Come on.
Yeah. No, and I was. It's funny because I was literally about to say, like, I watched that episode right when it aired. I think it was like at midnight or whatever here.
Oh, well,
And
you're in
so
you're Cali, right?
yes,
It drops at 2 o'clock over here,
Oh yeah, that's way too late.
dude. And people still, bro. Believe me, bro. I know people that stayed up
I'm sure.
yeah,
I know people from the East Coast that do that
till
too. Like they'll stay
3
up till 3,
to
and I'm
watch it.
like, dude, you're absolutely insane. You're crazy, man.
No, I know
But
people that would put their alarms, bro, to wake up at 3 to watch it. So there's another one for you.
well, I mean that just goes to show like spoiler culture, right? Like you're gonna get this stuff spoiled, man.
Dude,
It's
it sucks.
it's
Instagram is like the worst, man, right now.
yeah, you can't go Twitter, like you can't even go on Twitter without something being spoiled, you know.
So,
Even like I'm trying to avoid Hawkeye spoilers right now because I know there's a lot of people that have already watched it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, I'm not a piece of crap.
Um
I'm not gonna spoil that to you.
but yeah, man, it's like, dude, like it's why, like, why are you ruining it for everyone, you know? Like,
Dude,
but
yeah.
it
Well,
is what
what
it
happened
is.
with the Mandalorian though? So you're watching that episode, and I'm sure you went crazy.
Oh man, like yeah. So I watched it right when it came out, and I shit you not, man. I was literally in freaking tears, like when I was watching this.
Dude, it
Like
was Luke.
and I'm not a crier, you know. Like I never cry over things, you know. Like but like I was so overwhelmed with emotion, like when he popped up, like the whole time I was like at the edge of my seat, like the whole time, the whole scene coming in, and like literally I was freaking in tears, like tears of joy, you know.
Dude,
But that's what it's about, you know. Like that's why you don't get shit spoiled, you know, because you have those
dude,
moments.
yeah, absolutely. My friend, I read I remember he was telling me that when he watched that, he was going crazy. And I was like, what the hell's happening? And the kids are like freaking out. What the hell's happening? Because he was freaking out. Because I mean, it's a movie, man. He grew up watching that, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
cool. You know, it's the best way I can confer like I could compare that to would probably be if Tobey Maguire came out, man, in this damn movie.
Yes.
But people, again, like you said, spoiler culture, want to dig deep and try to just
Hmm.
freaking give the scoop. No one gives a shit if you have the scoop for that, man. You know, and drop that for you, man. So it gets, oh man, it just gets irritating. But yes, they spoiled it for me, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna watch it. And then my
Well,
dad, God bless his heart, The Walking Dead. You ever watch The Walking Dead?
yes.
Okay. Well, my dad, you watch all of it?
I watched all the way up to when Negan comes out, and then
I
that's kind of when I stopped.
did. You didn't see like the big scene that everyone hyped about? Because I don't want to spoil that for you.
I'm probably not gonna watch it, so go for it. Go for it.
Oh, where they kill Glenn?
Oh yeah, that's when I stopped watching
Okay,
it. That's
exactly, dude. That is exactly when I stopped watching it. My dad's like, "Oh, you should watch it. Like, you should see when this guy dies." And I'm like, "Okay, well, shit, Dad. I'm not gonna watch anymore. What the hell, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, my bad." I mean, God bless his heart. He didn't mean it like that, but I was just like, "Dude." So yeah, man. Can't. What is it? Spoiler culture is pretty insane. I'm gonna watch it the first day it comes out, man. And I hate to
Yeah,
do that, man. Packed theaters, I hate that shit.
really.
I do, man. Maybe because of COVID, I don't want people like, right next to me,
Yeah, that
but
makes
it is what
sense.
it is, man.
That
I've
makes
I've I
sense.
think I've only gotten since the whole Rona thing started. I've gone to the theater once, and it was like an early showing, and I didn't even want to go. I promised my friend I was gonna go, so
Yeah.
I went. We went like at 10 in the morning, man. So it was empty. I like empty
No, that's
theaters.
good.
I like
No,
empty theaters.
there's a joy in having an empty theater for sure. There's also a joy though, like having a packed theater and everyone's
With
just
the end
like,
game, like the end game reactions.
yes, yes, like everyone's cheering, everyone, like all that stuff's really cool to me. Like it's just having everyone enjoying it. I think it's really cool.
Did you like all the Marvel Disney Plus series?
Yeah, I honestly, I think all of them are great.
Yeah.
One that I would definitely that I kind of didn't care for too much was the WandaVision
I was gonna
series.
let me guess, WandaVision. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't care about
I
that.
thought it was cool, but very similar to No Way Home. It was hyped up so much, and people thought it was going to end a certain way. It didn't end that way, and so it got really disappointing after a while. So
Yeah, that's what people were saying about that. Actually, I didn't finish watching that one, man. I saw, what was it? Captain, no, was it Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Falcon,
That
Falcon.
one wasn't. I didn't think that was very strong, man. To be quite honest with you, man, I wanted more Zemo, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you build this up. These random villains are like the villains and stuff." What I liked is the Winter, what is it? The agent, the guy that was
Agent
supposed to,
13.
yeah, Agent 13. Him, I liked his arc, man. I thought he was solid. Wasn't like the worst villain. I wanted more Zemo, man. I wanted more Zemo, and obviously it
Yeah.
teases up a lot. I thought the girl that plays, no disrespect to her, was it Shannon Carter? That's the
Oh,
character.
I'm sorry. That's Agent 13. So I think you're
Okay,
talking about the US agent.
yeah, U.S. agent, yeah, him. So I thought
Yeah.
his arc was cool. No, the Shannon Carter one, I thought that was like the most, what, like it was the most what is it, underwhelming like reveals.
Yeah, as her being the power broker and stuff like
Yeah, I
that.
was just
Yeah.
like, this is lame. Like I'm not. And then with the post credit scene, I was like, okay, well, I'm not intrigued to watch this at all. Like your typical arc, like she pretends to be good, she's actually bad. They find out, they get pissed, then boom, right?
Yeah.
That's the
No,
thing.
yeah. I think what's kind of cool about the post ending scene with her was that it's gonna kind of, I think, go into Wars.
Okay, what is it?
So with Armor Wars, it's gonna be like the Iron Patriot or War Machines kind of story. But I
Okay,
think it's gonna do a lot with like Tony Stark's tech,
okay.
and kind of like it getting into the wrong hands. And I think Sharon Carter is gonna probably play a big role in that. That's obviously just speculation,
Yeah,
but that's
speculation.
what I think anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. Though I didn't get to check out Loki though. I heard that one was good.
that one is probably my favorite one for sure.
Okay, so
That
recommend
one,
that.
yeah, yeah, definitely, especially because it goes really into the multiverse. It's kind of like the beginning of the multiverse.
Yeah.
And so everything kind of leading up now, obviously, like the big storyline is going to be the multiverse, with Doctor Strange and of course Spider-Man and stuff like that. So
Scarlet
I think,
Witch.
yeah, and Scarlet Witch. So I definitely think that Loki sets all that up, and so it's definitely something to look for sure.
Now, is there anything you're watching, that it's not comic book related
Um,
that you recommend for the audience to watch?
right. So right now,
No
not comic
judgments.
book really.
No
No, it's
judgments.
all good. Man, I watch a lot of comic book stuff.
So
Honestly,
nothing.
like, um, I was watching a series currently.
Okay.
I just got into Squid Games.
Dude, you're barely
So
watching that one?
yeah,
I get you.
it took me a long time to get
It
to
took
it because
it took me a minute.
yeah, I mean, everyone was telling me to watch it. I was like, okay, like I'll watch it, but I just didn't get around to it. And finally, I was like, all right, fine, I'll sit down and watch it. So I actually just finished it yesterday.
The whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What'd you think?
And that show was just absolutely. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it. You
Dude,
know?
it's nuts, right? It took me a
Yeah.
long time, bro. It took me like 2 months after it released, man, to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, it was absolutely crazy. So I'm actually looking for a new show to watch. So if you have any recommendations, I'm all ears.
Oh, recommend this, yeah, for sure, man. See, I'm guilty, right? I like to watch a lot of comic book shows. You ever watch the 100?
I haven't, no.
That's a CW show. Again, if you ever watch like the Flash or whatever, I mean, I think it's not like a comic booky kind of a vibe, but
Uh-huh.
the 100 is solid, dude. I catch myself watching a lot right now was a lot of well, because we got something working in the background with some of these people, but from MTV, MTV. I can't give up too much, but I've talked to some people there. We got some cool stuff, interviews working with some people from this show, but it's the Road Rules Challenge. I'm like a
Interesting.
competitive guy, so I'm a competitive guy. So I like watching people compete, you know? So the only thing I'm not a fan of is the dramas, but they have these games and stuff like that, weird games where they have to like compete and everyone's, you know, playing for money. But again, it's a game. It's toxic, right? Kind of like Squid Game. What was the point of Squid Game? You know, greed will get a lot of people to do crazy shit. So this is like a kind of like your reality show. I mean, if you can ignore the drama and just kind of skip to the challenges, I think it's cool to watch. I think it's cooler than Ninja Warrior. I think that's
okay. So something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much, man, what it is, and it changes every season, is like these group of people come in, they're all competing. They were all like a part of like MTV Real World. So they were able by doing those shows, they're able to compete in these games to win money. And obviously now, like, I mean, they're competing for like 50 G's, 300 G's. I mean, they're competing for that, but they split it amongst team. So at some point, if you're winning, that's cool. But they have like what's the word? Like they have a MacGuffin. The MacGuffin is like what they take, what they play in at the end of every episode. Like there's a series where it's like the gauntlet, right? So 2 teams play, whoever wins gets to pick who goes to the gauntlet from each team. And then they play this one special game at the gauntlet, and they have like, it's kind of like a little arena, and whoever loses goes home, whoever wins keeps going. And obviously there's a lot of strategy because some of these guys are like, well, shit, there's more of us, then it's going to be less money. Or they try to screw each other over too, man, because obviously bigger cuts, right? It just shows you like the bad things that people are willing to do to win a game, dude. Yeah, I mean, no one's dying here, but I'm just saying, like, it just shows you like people screwing people over, man. Like it's legit, like it's Squid Game without the killing, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
people strategizing.
It's just like when people try to play Monopoly, man. That game gets nuts.
Nah, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, but I'll definitely, man, there's so many shows, man. I'll definitely shoot you a message and tell you if I recommend something for sure. But
let's do it.
Let me shift to this now. So UFC 2. Oh, Dexter. You watch Dexter, bud?
No, I haven't.
Dude,
I haven't.
Watch that, dude.
Okay, that's the next one then. That's the next one.
There you go. Dexter. So I'm gonna just heads up. 1 through 4, solid. 4 is the best season.
Okay.
Season 4 is the best season. Even if you just get up to season 4, that season is just rolling. 5 and 6 kind of like fell through because, I mean, season 4 was set such a high bar, dude. And season 7 is phenomenal. Season 8 sucked. But they're doing a revival. They're doing a revival. So the show ended like in 2013, and no one liked the finale. So I'll be honest with you there. And then they just this past week, or it's been like 2 weeks ago, that they actually have a revival. So they're doing one more season, like 8 years later. So congratulations, bud. You get to skip ahead 8 years, man. Unlike me.
But, I'll definitely check it out.
That's the one, man. That's the money one. But let me shift to this now. UFC 269, man. It's coming down December 11th. I'm very pumped. You're an MMA guy, right? You watch some MMA. You keep up with it?
I do. Yes. I do. I do when I can, for sure.
Okay. I'll get to this question at the end, but now you're a jiu-jitsu guy. So the biggest thing is, because let's be honest here, it's a lot of great fights here. UFC 269. They took a blow because Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards, that fight got scrapped because of a Masvidal injury.
Yeah.
So Kai Kara France is going to be fighting Cody Garbrandt. It's a good fight. Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Let's be honest. You know who Kayla Harrison is, right?
Yeah.
We all want to watch Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes, man.
I think that's the fight to make. I mean, Kayla is just an absolute monster. But she's
free agent now.
Not. Yeah. Okay.
That's free agent now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try to talk to her to get another interview because she's been on the show, man.
So really?
She's been on the show. So the last time we spoke on the show is, again, her just trying to see what they're gonna give her, man. Her worth, man. She wants her worth, man. Again, you're talking about a phenomenal athlete like herself, who's a 2-time Olympic champ, man. I mean, Olympic gold medalist, man. It's a huge accomplishment in itself. I think the fight between her and Amanda is the fight we want to see. So we'll see what Juliana can do, man. Every top-notch journalist that I've talked to, there's saying no way in hell, man. Puncher's chance,
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
Same. No disrespect. No disrespect, right? But Poirier and Olivera, right? That's the main event, right? That's the big one that we want to watch. And
yes,
I'm kind of scared for Dustin in this fight, man, because you know, for the most part, like my main event hit has been pretty. I've lost like one. I've predicted maybe two wrong main events, and that's including the UFC events and the actual fight nights.
Yeah.
So I'm torn between this fight, man, because everyone's going like Vegas wants you to bet Poirier, right? Because I'm a betting nut. So I like telling people the odds or whatnot. Vegas wants you to bet Poirier. Everyone's saying Poirier, right? Everyone's
What's the
saying
odds?
that.
What's the odds on that?
The odds on that, my friend. I'm glad you asked. I will give them to you right now because I have it here on my phone.
Because man, I might bet if Olivera is an underdog, I would definitely bet on Olivera for sure.
That's what I'm tempted. Because here's the thing, right? Like you want to win money, right? But people don't seem to forget is if you bet on like 6 favorites, man. I mean, you're gonna what? You put $5 in, you're probably gonna make like what is it, like $11 like total, including the $5 you spent. Yeah, man, you got to bet some money, man. That's why, you know, I took Colby in the main event because I wanted to make some money. And that's actually
not. Yeah, that's not a bad bet. I think the Kamaru and Colby fight Colby was in it. You know, he was in it. I think I forgot exactly what the score was. It was like 48-47.
49.
Right?
It was like is 49-46, man. I think no, actually it's 48-47. You're right. They give him 2 rounds.
Yeah, and I think it was mainly because Kamaru ended up knocking him down in the second round. If I'm not mistaken,
he knocked him down twice. So that's the thing, right? You watch any boxing?
Yes.
Okay, so and this is just kind of like a universal rule, right? When you're grading boxing, right? And that's the one thing I think when it comes to MMA, I think personally I'm pretty damn good at scoring the fights for what and people. You know, that's what we do here. We try to analyze shit and give it to people. And you know, like when Max fought Volkanovski, right? You know, Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. The second fight, man, and people were so pissed. Dude, I graded that Volkanovski winning. And everyone was so, I had Volk winning. I had Volk winning because here's the aspect that people just don't seem to understand when you're judging, right? The first part is what you can visibly see with damage, right? Something that really just stands out to you. Second thing is, again, what you're actually grading the system, whether it's control, whether it's effective damage, effective octagon control, any of those things, right? That's how you're scoring a fight. The third thing is, and what people seem to not realize this is, you know what, when they show significant strikes and you hear commentators, oh, well, Max landed the most significant strikes. At least I have not graded a fight like at a UFC event, but I really don't think these judges are getting this kind of information. They don't know that Max Holloway landed 40 more strikes than Volkanovski. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to count. And God bless the people that can count them while it's going on, but it's hard to count. So people seem to not comprehend that because you're watching it on TV, that is something that the judge can understand. Now, of course, some of the judging's whack, right? They are whack, but
of course,
the lasting effects of certain things that you see, like Volk took Max down, I think at the end of the 4th round, in a round where I thought Max won, I told myself, okay, cool. They're probably going to give him that round because of that takedown. Probably. Yeah. And it sucks that it happens, right? It does. Like, you deal with what? Judging in jiu-jitsu, correct?
Yeah. There's
one mistake, right? Yeah. One mistake costs you. And that's the hard part, man, I think.
Yeah, I think that especially with MMA, like the fact that people don't practice a lot of wrestling in MMA is like absolutely crazy to me. Like if I was going into MMA, that was the very first skill that I would try to sharpen up as much as possible. Because when you're scoring these rounds, like just like you said, right? It's like the takedown is so powerful in judges' eyes. You know, like I think a lot of times people steal rounds because they get taken down.
Yeah,
right?
Or just get held up against the fence. Like TJ Dillashaw won a fight like that.
Yeah. With
Corey.
Yes.
Dude, barn burner fight.
That Corey, was a good fight. Yeah, but I mean, like that's one of the main things that you also have to be really smart with the judges, you know, and the fact that some of these guys don't practice wrestling and takedowns and stuff like that is absolutely crazy. You know, it's like, man, what are you practicing? You know,
it's hard, and obviously, like, you know, they're gassed, right? Sometimes it happens, like with Max, or sometimes you get like contempt. So I don't know if you watched the last UFC event, but Rose versus Wei Li, right? I thought Wei Li would have won that fight. what hurt her though, where I was like, okay, there's just no way in hell like this is gonna go her way, is me thinking, okay, I think, and again, like the name of the show is Critical Condition, man. We're critical with what we say. I felt like she thought she had the fight in the ground. And realistically, look at what happened through the 5-round fight. Rose won that fight off the 4th and the 5th round, right? Championship rounds. They call them that for a reason, because she took her
Yes.
down, and Whaley did not do anything to improve her position. Like you said,
Yeah.
wrestling's such a big thing. And that's ultimately is what cost her a world championship.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think that the 4th and the 5th round were definitely what won Rose. But and I think you're right. Like, I think she was definitely winning. Yeah, she got complacent. Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
Trying to win by the points, man. Hard one.
Yeah, and Rose obviously stepped on the gas and was able to edge it out. And that's where
it's hard,
when
man.
it comes down to. Yeah, it comes down to that.
It is, and I think so. Back to the judging thing, right? So I don't understand, like with boxing, right? If you knock someone down, like what Kamaru did to Colby, I mean, that's already a 10-8. That should be a 10-8.
Yes.
Realistically in boxing. So I just don't understand. Sometimes I'm like, okay, why isn't this a 10-8 or a 10-7? Because he knocked him down twice.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the criteria with MMA is judged differently. So I was very surprised that Colby got those points that he did, because of the fact that Kamaru did put him on his ass twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a hard one with the odds. So the odds for Olivera is plus 135. Plus 135, and Dustin's a minus 155. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Like, I think that if you bet $10, you're making like nothing too crazy. They kind of have them borderline even there. The odds may fluctuate though on the week of. I usually wait till the week of, possibly even the Thursday, to tell people, hey, this is where the money's at. But you know, Vegas is crazy. The thing with Olivera, right? And I want to get your opinion on this, because you're such a jiu-jitsu ace here, and you know these things. So the thing that I caution, the reason why I like Dustin to win this fight, right? And you know, again, people are going so crazy. Vegas wants you to bet Dustin because they're favoring him over the world champ, right? And let's be quite honest with you, we love Conor McGregor, right? At least, you know, the fans do, right? Come on, man. We knew Dustin would win. January,
I think so too, yeah.
January was like, come on, like you're not gonna beat Dustin Poirier, because I mean, you're talking about Dustin Poirier, you know, the guy that's been there head to head against Justin Gaethje, the guy that messed up Eddie Alvarez, the guy that went through a war with Dan Hooker, was down the first 2 rounds, man, and came back to win.
Yeah,
you know, you're gonna take a layoff. You're gonna beat Cowboy Cerrone, no disrespect, and then come in there and get in with possibly the best lightweight in the world. Come on, right? So I thought, you know, I like Dustin, and my only concern is, okay, well, has he not been challenged yet? You know, because Conor McGregor wasn't a sick challenge. You know, it could have been a 10-8 round the third fight. Sorry. So going into this fight with Charles, though, as a jiu-jitsu guy, I feel like though with Charles, it's not the end of the world when you're going down to the ground. From what we've seen this past year, right? You look at, you know, he had Chandler's back. As a jiu-jitsu guy, right? You can clarify this, right? It's a nightmare, right? If you get a hold of someone's back, are you going to end it? If you're competing,
for sure,
it's easy.
Honestly, for me, like my whole jiu-jitsu game is developed so I can take someone's back and choke them. You know, like that's the whole point of my jiu-jitsu. You know,
it's money, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like you're done. Yeah, anytime I get someone's back, I'm like, okay, like it's over now. Like you're finished. You know.
Yeah.
And so here's where I think that Charles Oliveira is such a great champion, and why I think that he is going to win this fight. I personally am a huge Charles fan. And I think he's going to win the fight mainly because it doesn't matter if Dustin decides to take him down, if he decides to be on his feet. I think Charles has a great hands and just great striking in general. And of course, if Dustin decides, oh, hey, I'm going to try to take you down, Charles is so good off his back. And that's one thing that a lot of MMA guys are not great at, right?
Yeah.
They might be like jiu-jitsu black belts, but they're just really confident at being on top position, but they're not confident at all being on bottom position, so if they get taken down, they're kind of screwed. I think the only other person that is really confident off their back is like Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, like you get that guy on his back, is like he's throwing up triangles, he's throwing up omoplatas, like he's throwing the whole kitchen sink at you. And I think Charles Oliveira does the same thing. And honestly, not just based off his recent fights, but he's been doing this since, he got to the UFC. Even before he got to the UFC, he was just submitting everyone. And the only reason why I don't think he became a world champion earlier is because, for one, I think he was cutting way too much weight originally, because I think he used to fight at 145, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I think he was just cutting way too much weight. For one, I think there's been times he's missed weight too. But two is I think that he couldn't put everything together. Like, he had some decent striking. Obviously, he was a wizard on the ground, but he just couldn't put everything together. And now that he's kind of put everything together. Obviously, you saw it in his last fight. He just kind of puts everything together.
Fight, man. Him and Chandler.
Yeah, exactly. And Chandler's no joke.
Chandler shows up, man.
I mean, look at the Gaethje fight, right? Like him versus Gaethje, it was absolutely bananas. It's the same. So I think that with Charles, I think he's now has the discipline. He's in his 30s now. When he got to the UFC, he was like 20, 21.
Kid, man.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're that age, like, I know this based off experience, is when you're that age, you're not mature, and you do reckless stuff and you just don't feel like you can put things together. But now that he's in his 30s, I think he's like 30, 31. I think he's mature. He's a mature enough fighter to where he's going to be able to put everything together. And I think that he's going to be able to submit Dustin, honestly. That's my guess.
I think he may knock him. The thing is, man, so the only thing, like, I want to put money. I know a couple buddies, man, that are hardcore Poirier fans that I'm like, okay, I might be tempted here. I'm tempted here to go nuts. And with my official pick, right, I'm not going to give it yet to people until the week of. It's just a feeling out process, man, so, but I want to lean towards Charles right now. Yeah. I want to lean towards Charles because I can definitely see the hype train with Dustin being so high right now. And he's such a phenomenal fighter. And I can just picture the arena just staying quiet and with Charles just knocking him. Boom, ended it in the second round. Everyone's like, what the hell just happened? Right. But the only thing that scares me even saying that, right, is just Dustin's this guy he's battle tested, man.
Yes.
He's battle tested. And the thing is, so with football, right, you're not a huge football guy, right? But things I judge, right, maturity is a big thing. Quarterback position is the most important position, right? So when I'm judging an athlete, right, because, Dustin, fighters in general, you're your own quarterback, man. You're playing the most important position for yourself because you're alone. You're an individual sport. So maturity is a very big thing, right? What you do in your off time, how you're handling yourself. You make stupid decisions. You talk to media people. Are you getting in trouble, right? Maturity is a big thing. The next thing is, how can you win, right? Are you good enough to win, right? Dustin, of course, Charles, good enough to win. The next thing is, can you string up wins, right? Can you win consistently? Because consistency is one of the hardest things you can do in life, in general, in anything that you're doing, in any profession, right? It's the third thing. Then the fourth thing is, how do you react when there's pressure, right? How do you react? Dustin, man, has overcome adversity like Charles has, right? Like Charles has in his own right. How much pressure can you handle? And Dustin's come up clutch in just about every single moment except with Khabib. And I don't knock the guy for losing to Khabib. Everyone loses to Khabib.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hesitant to pick against Dustin, man. My take.
I think one thing with Dustin that obviously we've seen time and time again, and I think it's the same thing with Charles. Like, I think that with Dustin, he didn't have that great of a career when he was at 145. I think he was just cutting way too much weight, right? And now that he's at a good weight, you've seen him just absolutely destroy everyone, right? Mainly the Conor McGregor fight, and I think that with the Conor McGregor fights, he's had so much pressure on him in those fights that I think now he can kind of overcome that pressure, and I don't think it's spoken about a lot, but like a lot of times that's the make it or break it for athletes, is can they handle the pressure, and just like you said, I think Dustin is definitely battle tested. he's gone to war with Khabib. He's gone to war with Connor, and I think that all that pressure has definitely built him into. I think it could be his time for sure. But man, I just really like Charles's odds. I think Charles is going to be overlooked a little bit, and I think I think he's going to win the fight for sure.
Yeah, I'm very tempted, man. It's gonna be very, very interesting here. Now, real quick, as we're ending this, man, you've been awesome. Talked a lot about fights and movies and all that good stuff, man. Is there anything? So Thanksgiving week is coming up, man. What's your plan for Thanksgiving, man? It's your favorite side dish and all that good stuff coming up, man. Are you celebrating the holiday?
Yeah, man. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. Honestly, one of my favorite holidays. Close to Christmas, honestly. But my birthday is actually Friday as well.
Hey,
So
happy birthday, man.
yeah, man. I'm gonna thank you. I'm definitely gonna be celebrating pretty much all week. But favorite side dish, man, has to be mac and cheese.
Dude, my guy, 100%.
I love me some mac and cheese.
Man, some mashed potatoes, man. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, for sure. Give me all of that.
Yeah. Now, is there you as a jiu-jitsu ace, man, is there any advice that you like to give to anyone out there that's just starting jiu-jitsu, is just kind of getting going with their jiu-jitsu career?
Yeah, man. One thing that I definitely advise always is just being consistent.
Okay.
That's the way to be better, man. Like, everyone wants to come into jiu-jitsu and let's say they want to be a world champion. Even if you don't want to be a world champion, you're just doing it to lose weight or to just get fit or whatever, it's just about the consistency. People tend to go on like crash diets, or crash training where they just train every single day for a week and then you don't hear from them because they get burnt out, right? So I think that the main thing is trying to be as consistent as possible. Start off with 2 days a week, go to 3, go to 4. If you want to do this full time, then you can start to build yourself up. But the main thing is to be as consistent as possible over a long period of time, and that's how you get results.
Awesome, man. Now you're you're an athlete, man. Any chance though, man, you ever thought about competing in MMA?
It's funny because I actually joined jiu-jitsu to compete in MMA.
Okay.
So that was the main reason why. But then I just absolutely fell in love with jiu-jitsu. So I honestly don't have any plans to do MMA, but I definitely want to be a jiu-jitsu coach for MMA fighters. That's something that I'm aspiring towards. Yeah.
So that's right now that you can do, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get a lot of athletes and coach a lot of athletes. The coaching game for me is my favorite part. Of course, I love to compete and I have my own personal goals with competition. But my main goal in the future, now to the future, is to be the best coach that I can be. And I mean, I already have Kendall as an athlete, and I'm gonna have plenty other guys who are coming up right now that are going to be amazing in the next couple of years.
Definitely. My boy, Dan Argueta, man, he trains at the same gym, Gracie Baja, but he's up in there in Cali as well. He's up there with, I'm not sure, man. He's up there with, he's just on the Ultimate Fighter show. He's with Cub Swanson and TJ Dillashaw. And he has
his coach is he actually lives right next to me. His coach is Philippe Delamonica, who's a really good friend of me. Yeah, he's TJ's coach. He's Cub Swanson's coach. He's a really good friend of mine, actually.
Yeah, man. So he's an animal, man, out there, man. You ever can help that guy out, man. That guy's a killer.
Yeah, anytime. I'm actually talking to Philippe. I want to talk to Felipe about helping him out with coaching MMA fighters and stuff. That's something that I'm definitely interested in for sure.
That's awesome, man. Anything you want to let the audience know, Saul, before we sign off, man? You've been a great guest.
No, man. I mean, I hope everyone has a great holiday season, and keep working towards your goals, man. That's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Saul, for joining us today. Thank you. It's a Thanksgiving episode here for everyone here at Critical Condition Sports. To all the audience out there listening, thank you for your time. You're going to go out there, party, celebrate, whatever it is. Just be safe out there, folks. Thanks for joining. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.